Hello, this is part 1 for What If Jason Voorhees Trained Deku. Let's get into it. So, everything goes up the same until Deku is at the hospital, saying the doctor, he was quirkless, and a couple hours later, Deku's walking home, but there's a villain attack. And Deku still loves heroes, and his mum says, "Do you want to go see the villain attack, sweetie?" And then Deku says to a little grin, "Yeah, mum." Then they go to do an attack. Let's say like it's Death Arms Endeavour against like a villain with like a teleport quirk. And then so Death Arms has got like a special bullet. It's like a lightning bullet. And Endeavour's saying, this might be a good little game to warm me up. Then the villain says, "You want to take me alive?" And the villain activates a portal, and then he just grabs a bunch of people. One, Deku's mum, two, Deku, and a bunch of civilians. And then said, "I'll kill all these people." He has like a gun as well, like a handgun. "I'll kill all these people if you come a step closer. I want a vehicle and $2,000. And Dara said, "You're not getting shit." Dara blasts a massive firebolt, and Gunhand said, "Stop and never wait." Then Gunhand shoots his bullets, trying to stop his fire. But then the portal villain says, "Have it your way." He activates a portal, and then it makes like a really big portal, like a fire, but lightning bullets and the portal started mixing together and make like a vortex. And the vortex was really small, and it kept closing. But everyone started grabbing on the things except, well, Deku. The vortex started sucking him in. And then he falls out the portal and lands into a lake. And then let's get to Jason part. Jason's walking around hunting, but then he hears help. Help, help. And then he's getting flashbacks saying no one helped him when he's younger. And then with a determined look, Jason jumps in the water and swims at full speed over to Deku. Deku just went under the water, but then Jason grabbed him, pushing up above water. Deku starts crying. Jason puts him on his back, and then he starts swimming to shore. Deku's shaking because he's really cold, and he's just crying because he doesn't understand. He's only 4. And then Jason just gets out of the water. I was putting him on the shore, and then stands up. And then he just looks down at Deku. He doesn't say anything, but then he just starts to walk off. But then Deku said, "Wait, please." Jason turns around and sees a lot of himself in the kid. Like a lot of it, because one, he's got doesn't know anything about him. Well, he just thinks he's got a good lot, because who else would just leave a kid in a lake swimming? Like, Jason's wondering, how the hell did the kid get here? He would activate one of his traps at least. Then, for the first time ever, in like a really messed up voice, like it's like coming out in words, okay. It takes him like a couple of minutes to say that. Then Deku says yes, but then he just collapses thanks to the coldness. Then Deku just then Jason picks up his body and carries him to his lodge. And then he lights a fire outside of it for Deku. 10 hours later, Deku wakes up. He's in like a sweater, because Jason, he does a little killing. I assume he just doesn't just leave their bodies to rot. I assume like he carves them out, or at least takes their clothes. So he's in like a sports jumper. He starts rubbing his arms, trying to warm himself up. But then the door opens and he sees Jason walk by with like a bunch of fish and puts them on the fire. And I'm gonna say, Jason's not gonna be talking, but he has like a notepad and pen. And then Deku said, who are you? And then the pen, Jason starts to write, and it says Jason Voorhees. And it says Jason Voorhees. Then Jason nods. Then he says, thank you for saving me. And then he writes, you're welcome. And then Deku says, where are we? Then Jason writes, Camp Crystal Lake. He points out at Deku. Deku reads, Camp Crystal Lake. Then Deku says, what's Camp Crystal Lake? And then Jason's, writes, it's like a camp. Deku says, like a training camp? And Jason puts his head left and right, so, like, no. And then Jason writes, like, camping camp. And then Dick says, oh. And then Jason writes, where are your parents? And then Deku says, I don't know. There was a villain attack and one of the heroes started fighting and I got sucked to a portal and Deku just starts to cry. Because Jason doesn't understand if there's a villain attack. Like, does he mean like a something like him? Like, he doesn't know. So he walks over to Deku, then he just hugs him, warming him up. And Deku, his head's on his chest and he has this really slow heartbeat. And Deku starts crying in his chest and starts to hug Jason. And Jason just gets a little tear. Because he's never been loved before. Well, except from his mum. But she's been gone for a long time. And under his mask, he gets like a little smile. Then Jason writes, do you know where to go? Do you know where you live? And Deku says, no, I live in Japan, but that's all I know. And then Jason writes, Japan? Kid, are you sure? Because we're in, like, where was Camp Crystal Lake? I'm going to say, the US? Yeah. Kid, we're in the US, he writes. Then Dick says, wait, that's not possible. Then Jason writes, kid, are you okay? Then Deku's stomach starts to rumble. And then under Jason's mask, there's a little smile. And then he puts down Deku from hugging him. Then he walks over to the campfire he made, and he's got some fish cooking. He gets 2 fish, one to Deku, one to him. And Jason isn't putting up his mask fully; just he's eating it under his mask. Then Deku said, what time is it? And then Jason said, let me check. He writes down. He looks up at the sky, and then he writes down 11:45. Then Deku saying, it's early. And then Jason says, yes. And then Jason says, do you have anywhere to go? Anywhere to stay? And then Deku says, no. Then Jason's got a really good idea. Because Jason knows one day he's not going to be alive. But he's thinking, what if Deku can take his place one day? Like, to keep your mother safe, stuff like that. Make sure no one goes in Camp Crystal Lake. And then Jason says, maybe I could help you. Stay with me if you want, he writes. And Deku saying, really? Then Jason writes down, yes. And then Jason writes, but? Deku says, but what? you got to train. Then Deku says, train, like, how? Then Jason says, I'll teach you. Then Deku says, yeah, but what kind of training? And Jason says, hunting. I want to say Jason's a lot more skilled. Hand-to-hand combat, workouts, stuff like that. And then Deku's gruesome training regimen starts. For 8 years, Deku has been working his arse off, hunting. He's actually quite smart, to be honest. But now he's around 12, and Deku's just training and training. But one day, Deku walks out. Then Deku thinks it's Jason as his dad, pretty much. Because Deku doesn't really know his dad that well. He only seen pictures of him. He never really had a dad figure, but Jason's a pretty good dad figure. And then one day, on that day, Deku's walking into Jason's shack. He knows about Mother, but he's freaked out at first, but not anymore. He's just got used to it because he's decided he's got to protect her one day on his own. Because he knows Jason's not always going to be around for him. And then Jason looks over to Deku and waves. I'm gonna say Deku and Jason got like sign language, so Jason doesn't really need the book anymore. He is like next to like Mother's head, Jason's mother, so he can do like sign language to Deku. And then Jason does sign language saying, "Hi, hello Deku, how are you?" Deku says, "I'm good." I mean, yeah, I'm good. Because he's old, he's got a deeper voice. And then Jason says, that's nice. We got to go hunting. And Deku says, for what? Deer? Fish? And then Jason says, people. Then Deku gets a little freaked out. Do you mean people? But do you mean like us people? Then Jason tells him the rest of the story. Because Deku knows he's got to protect Mother, but doesn't know from what. And then Jason tells him his backstory. When I was younger, I used to be here. My mum used to work here. But I was drowning, just like you. All those years back. And then Deku says, wait, you was drowning as well? Yes, but unfortunately, I'd known all the lifeguards wasn't there. No counselors, nothing. I drowned to death, and I eventually came like this. And Deku saying, oh, that's how you're so good at swimming. And then Aang says, well, sign language, yes. So, we hunting people, I guess? Then Jason says, yes, because you want to know why we hunt them? And Deku says, yes, because one day they want to destroy our home, our sacred home. They want to destroy this place. We won't let them. We will never let them. Then Deku says, yes, Dad. Then Deku accidentally said Dad instead of Jason. Then Jason's sign language say, what did you say? Not in like a mad tone. And then Deku says, sorry, Jason, I didn't mean. Then Jason says, it's fine. Call me Dad if you want. And Deku says, are you sure? And Jason just starts nodding. Then he says, okay, Dad. I say as Deku's been like a hunter trained by Jason, knows like all a bunch of weapons. I say he knows. Yeah, he knows like a lot of things, hunting stuff, materials like that. But he's really big. Like, I say like he's tall as Ida, but he's like 3 times bulkier than Mirio. And I mean that's a lot, but Jason's got supernatural strength, superhuman. So 3 years later, and this is like when Jason was like killing the campers. So let's get start. Deku was asleep, but then he hears like a bunch of screaming, so he runs out. He's got like a mask like Jason's, but not like the exact same one. He also has like a machete. But then he's running out. And then he sees Jason being like tased by the SWAT team. Yeah, this is the part in the movie, like Jason getting killed by the SWAT team. But then Deku's about to run out, but then he hears a voice. No, Deku, don't. It's too late for Jason. You need to run. And that's Jason's mother. Then Deku says, who are you? Then she says, it doesn't matter who I am now. Just run, I'll explain on the way. For all Deku's might, he has to turn and run. But just before he does, he sees Jason looking at him. And then with Jason's tasering body, he uses 2 fingers to point go. And then he does he does a thumbs up saying go. Deku starts crying under his mask, and Deku books it back to the shack. And Deku just grabs his hunting material stuff. He grabs his bow and arrow, his spear. He grabs his arrows and he grabs his machete. Then Deku starts running. And then it's like lightning storm. But then a lightning storm hits where the portal was. And then the portal starts to open back up. Then Deku's saying, wait, is that the portal? The portal! Then Deku hears a voice saying, run, Jason. Run, Deku, run. Then Deku's saying, thank you, mother. Because the mother told him about it was her. Then Deku jumps into the water, starts swimming over to the thing, then starts sucking Deku in. Let's get to the My Hero Academia world. And that's a lie, guys. This is the end of the first video of the new series.